It's that time of week again, guys, where we attempt to predict the scores for another game week. We are now up to game week 22. Game week 21 has just finished. Ipswich Town actually reached the top of the table in the Championship on Wednesday evening. Leicester City gained all 3 points and now they're back at the top of the table. In regards to the Superbru Predictions League, last week in game week 21, top scorer with an absolute beautiful score of 18.5 points was Brera 5553, and he had 5 perfect scores. Looking at the overall leaderboard now for the entire season, well, he's been there for a while, hasn't he? Alex Cochrane now on 237, but in second place now, leapfrogging Ferris 77, is Brera 5553, now up to 228.5 points. So moving on to game week 22, we've got that East Anglian sort of derby, haven't we, where we start with Ipswich Town coming up against the Canaries of Norwich City, and this kicks off at 12:30 on Saturday. So Ipswich, as we said, actually got to the top of the table on Tuesday evening with that 2-1 victory over Watford. And Norwich themselves gained a victory, a 3-1 win against Sheffield Wednesday. In this one, Ipswich being at home, and they're flying at the moment. Can't see anything other than an Ipswich win in this one. Norwich will make it difficult for them, but I think the Tractor Boys will come away with a 2-1 home win. We then move on to Ashton Gate, where the Wurzels, the Robins if you want, take on Sunderland. Now Sunderland, under new management, back-to-back wins, an absolute phenomenal result against Leeds United, 1-0 out, and it's now 3 defeats in the last 4 matches for Bristol City, where they most recently lost 2-1 to Blackburn Rovers in this one. I think Sunderland are going to repeat that scoreline which they had against Leeds, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 away win to the Black Cats. We then move on to Hull City taking on Cardiff City at the MKM Stadium. Cardiff now 3 defeats in the last 4, and they've only scored 1 goal in that little run. Not looking good at the moment for Cardiff, going through a real tricky spell this season. Hull City returned to winning ways with a very good 2-1 win against Middlesbrough. The star player of the season so far, Jaden Philigine's missing for that one. I think he'll be missing for this Cardiff City clash as well. This is a tie where Cardiff could actually get something from. When they've gone through a bad patch, they normally come back with a win to surprise the fans. However, they're not looking great at the moment, and I think Cardiff will actually score in this one, but I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to the Tigers. We then move on to Elland Road, where Leeds United take on a resurgence Coventry City side. It's only 1 defeat in the last 5 for Coventry, a decent 1-1 draw against Southampton, and Leeds with that loss against Sunderland. But I think once Leeds United will return to winning ways, and I can see them winning this one 2-0. We then move on to the Den in South Bermondsey, where Millwall take on Huddersfield. Huddersfield just 1 defeat in their last 5, and Millwall back-to-back defeats. They were ahead in that match against Leicester City on Wednesday evening, but ultimately lost it 3-2. As said, Huddersfield losing 3-1 against Preston NE. Millwall starting to turn things around slightly with their performances. Results not the same as their performances suggest, and Huddersfield making it difficult for their opponents. But I think Millwall are going to surprise people. I think it's going to be a very, very cagey affair, and I can see Millwall winning this one 1-0. Then we got Plymouth Argyle taking on Rotherham. Rotherham, bottom of the table. Plymouth Argyle, they can score goals, especially at home, and I think they're going to take all 3 points in this one. Rotherham don't concede that many, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Pilgrims. We then move on to Deepdale, where Preston NE take on Watford. Preston, a very good win in midweek, and Watford losing that tie against Ipswich Town. Difficult one to predict, this one. I'm going to have to go for the draw. I'm going to have to sit on the fence and predict 1-1. We then move on to Hillsborough, where Sheffield Wednesday take on Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers themselves under new management is doing wonders there, isn't he, since he took over from Ainsworth. A draw in their last fixture against Plymouth, and Sheffield Wednesday, after a run of 3 matches without defeat, they lost against Norwich City. I think this one's going to be tight, but I think QPR are going to come away with all 3 points in a 1-0 away win. Then we move on to St Mary's, where Southampton take on Blackburn Rovers. Southampton, very, very, very difficult to beat at the moment. Blackburn Rovers return to winning ways after 2 back-to-back defeats. That win, though, is against the Wurzels. I think Southampton will take all 3 points in this one, and I can see them winning 2-0. We then move on to the Swansea.com stadium, where the Jacks take on Middlesbrough. Jacks now just a 1 defeat in the last 5 fixtures, and Middlesbrough have lost 3 on the bounce. So looks like Swansea should be able to take something in this fixture. However, they haven't really faced opposition as strong as Middlesbrough in the last few weeks, where they faced Huddersfield, Rotherham and Stoke. So I'm going to go for an away win in this one. I think Swansea will score, but I think Middlesbrough will win 2-1. We then move on to the Hawthorns, where West Brom take on Stoke City. Battle of the stripy kits. Dark blue against red. Stoke in all sorts of woeful form. A draw against Swansea. I think Swansea scored late in that fixture, and West Brom returned to winning ways with a 2-0 win against Rotherham, and I can see them winning this one again, and I'm going to go for another 2-0 victory. And then on Monday evening, the last fixture of this game, round 22, sees Birmingham take on Leicester City. It was a bit of a smash and grab for Birmingham against Cardiff City on Wednesday evening, where they won 1-0. They didn't look great. I was there in person, and they were quite solid at the back. Ruddy's decent in goals, but Leicester City coming from behind to beat Millwall 3-2. I think they're going to go to Birmingham. Got a little bit of a rest now, Leicester City, and I can see them winning this one 2-0. So that concludes my predictions for game week 22. Make sure you leave your predictions over at the Superbru website. See if you can climb up the table and catch the likes of Alex Cochrane, Frere 77, etc. at the top of that leaderboard. Games coming thick and fast, as I said, coming up to the festive period. I think I mentioned in previous videos that there's going to be a lot of videos coming out around the festive period. But enjoy your championship weekend, whoever you support, and I'll see you all in the next video.